Howdy folks, we're making a video today on water fasting.
Water fasting.
And I've been thinking about doing it because I have fasted in the past, but not anything to brag about. So,
Wait, how long was it in the past?
the past was probably in the 80s I did 2 days, and then in the 90s, late 90s I did maybe 3 days, no more than 3 days. And then I've done day fast for religious purposes. But I want to introduce you to somebody who's doing a wonderful water fast right now. Tyler.
Thank you, Marky. Today is day 4 of a water fast.
Kind of when it kicks in.
For health reasons, kind of when it kicks in because...
Explain what that means.
Well...
Kicking in.
Kicking in, that was a term that your cousin came up with because... Liz, who we are going to have on a show...
Very soon.
Yes, very soon. And day 4, it sort of kicks in because that's when you're you've used up all your glycogen stores in your liver and muscles.
What's
and
glycogen?
Like glycogen would be our primary fuel source as human beings. So it's the...
It sounds related to sugar because glyca is in the word there.
Right. So it is basically sugar, carbohydrates. So if you eat like rice, corn, pasta, your body takes those carbohydrates and then refines it into glycogen and glucose. It generally breaks it down into sugars, but fruit is a more available source of the sugars. And so now day 4 you start burning like ketones, and ketones are basically a type of fat. It's a secondary fuel source, and just a general research will show you that. But there's kind of a thing where people who are in like the high carb community are kind of against water fasting, and I think that we evolved as humans from Africa, where fruit was
prevalent.
Well, yeah, prevalent. You could raise fruit easily there, but not so easily because we didn't have any tools and things like that. We didn't have any sort of modern economy or anything like that. So I believe that we were raised biologically or evolutionarily in a sort of feast-famine state.
Which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I kind of was wondering about the raw till 4 thing or the eating abundantly thing, and then I was like, I kind of thought that human beings kind of were living not very abundantly in the past, but I think that we weren't all the time. So feast famine,
Excuse me.
makes a lot of sense to me.
Right.
So that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm day 4. I feel like, here's the other thing too, is that a lot of people, I feel like they think that they need to fast when really like a high carb, low fat vegan diet would cure a lot of their ailments. So maybe try that first, see what it cures, and then if you feel like you need to feel better, you need to really start from ground zero, go ahead and do the water fast, of course.
Plus, caloric restriction has been proven to extend life.
A lot of studies on caloric restriction, but they don't know if caloric restriction was actually due to animal product restriction, because it's always about who you're comparing it to. So who
your study group is.
Yeah, because if you're studying people who eat meat, then caloric restriction is going to extend your life because you're eating less meat and all that other crap.
All that jazz.
So I would really like to see if they studied like fruitarians who water fasted once a year for 20 days or more versus fruitarians who just ate a lot, or maybe like low caloric intake fruitarians versus high. But I have not heard of any of those studies yet, and we are a rare breed. But that's pretty much it. You don't get hungry very much on a water fast. Sometimes, I mean, you could be preoccupied with the thought of food, but a lot of times it's more just the thought than like the hunger, especially after the first 3 days.
Are you adding any salt or electrolytes to your water?
I do add some salt, some Himalayan salt to the reverse osmosis water, because the reverse osmosis it seems like it's just too pure, and I feel like
Is there a big difference
did
between
drink
the
water-
RO water and like spring water? Do you have a preference?
Not sure. I just typically where I'm at, I find myself around RO, but I guess I've been doing spring too, and I do add a little bit of salt to the spring, but only a small amount. Like, it's a very small amount, but I can taste the difference. It's weird. Your senses do get heightened, and man, if you want to really know the true taste of food, break the fast with a watermelon. That's what I did last time.
Sandia.
Crazy. But maybe we should say goodbye.